Good morning, everybody. This is To The Point with Tanya Tyler and Outdoor Trail Magazine. This morning, we are talking to a Western fishing legend who's one of the early pioneers of the drop shot, two-time Bassmaster winner, five-time Classic qualifier, John Murray. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Very good. Thanks so much for taking some time. Talk to us. Give us a little fishing tips here.
I always love talking about fishing.
Who doesn't? I'd like to say that my strength is drop shot. This year, I was kind of spinner bait queen, I have to tell you. You being an early pioneer of drop shot, are you excited to see that it's so popular now?
Yeah, the one thing is it's a technique that equalizes a lot of things. I mean, it's not a complicated technique. It's not a technique that's hard to master. So it's a good edge when it first came out, but right now, it's an easy technique to learn and catch fish on. So
let's go straight to the listeners. Jake from Michigan heard you were using drop shot for suspended fish at some tournaments this summer.
Well, I do that a lot, and really, the drop shot. I play with a lot in my pool, and I'll change the different kinds of weights, different weight line, different kinds of worms. And what I've found over the years is like a curly tail robo worm, something like that, a 4 or 6 inch curly tail robo worm with a little nose hook and a fairly light drop shot weight, just like maybe even an 1/8 or a 3/16. And you can just swim that thing. I mean, it looks just like a minnow down there. I mean, with a 4 or 6 pound Berkeley line, the fluorocarbon, it is unbelievable coming through the water. And that's what I'll do that on suspended fish, basically areas you throw a spoon or you throw maybe a topwater over them. I just swim that through them, and it's just a real subtle presentation and catches them, when a lot of other presentations won't.
Talking right now on the phone, five-time Classic qualifier John Murray. Mike from Alabama wants to know what your favorite lake on the next year's schedule is.
This is easy for me. I haven't been to Falcon. I'm really looking forward to go there. I love Lake Amstead, but Lake Erie at Buffalo is my favorite. It's drop shotter's paradise. When you catch 4-pound smallmouths all day, I don't think you can ask for much better. So Lake Erie will be my highlight of next year.
Talking to John Murray, Robbie from South Carolina loves to throw shallow crankbaits around wood and wants to know what your most productive crank is and what color is best for stained water.
Well, mine's always been a speed trap. Speed trap is a western staple. It's been out here catching fish at the Delta, all the western lakes for years. And it's got that square bill. You can run it through about everything. My favorite color is that white perch. It's just a white bait. In dirty water, it seems to really catch them.
Mel from Minnesota wants to know if you have any tips for swimming jigs in thick grass.
My best success has always come with a very light jig, like a 1/4 ounce, maybe even 3/16. I'll use a pocket chunk. It's got the big swimming arms, or I'll use the bigger Berkeley chigger cross, something that I can get a lot of lift on. And in thick grass, you got to keep that thing up to the top. You're almost fishing like a buzzbait, but the beauty is you can drop it into the pockets or on an edge or something like that. But something with a good flapping arms and a light bait, black and blue, pretty much standard color for that.
Now, John, when you're dropping it into the pockets, are you pulling it back up quickly, or is it a slow pull?
Usually it's a reaction bite. It'll be on the fall. They'll hit it right as it drops, but I'll sort of snatch it out of there pretty quick, trying to get it back up on top and get it coming again. That kind of bite's going to be purely reaction, so keep it moving. You don't have to, sit there and tease them or anything with it.
Now, John, talking about fall, because we're in the middle of it right now, approaching winter quickly, what is your fall pattern?
My favorite way to fish this time of year is taking a 3/4 ounce Yamamoto spider jig. We have a lot of deep water fishing here, and so I'll fish it uphill this time of year. I'll get up, a lot of people go out and fish it on a point, 10 to 20, 30 feet of water. I'll sit up in 5 or 10 feet of water, throw it out in deep water and work it uphill with a 3/4 ounce football head, 16 or 17, pretty heavy pound line, and really get that jig bouncing in those rocks, crashing it off those rocks. And that kind of reaction bite, it's like a deep crankbait to me, with that heavy jig. And it really catches a lot of fish down here in Arizona this time of year.
Jerry from Arkansas asks, what rod action and length do you use for larger top waters like a Super Spook?
I use a 7.6. 7.5 foot, and it's a 765 CB made by Powell Rods, which is one of my sponsors. But it's sort of a heavy action rod. It used to be a flipping stick basically, but it's got a nice tip on it. Handles a spook well, handles a big Rico well. I'll throw a buzzbait. I'll throw anything that's oversized on that rod, which is 7.6, and I'll use 17-pound Berkeley Max line. A good monofilament or even a braid on a big lure. And that combination handles a lot of the big topwater fishing.
Some great fishing tips for you from John Murray. This is To the Point with Tanya Tyler and Outdoor Trail Magazine.